everybody, what is up? It is Pauline. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, yes, I'm talking kind of quietly again, but I'm back with another little drama video for you tonight. Just before I take all this off and go to bed, there is more drama to get into. This was actually something that I saw earlier on today, but didn't have time to fit into the other video that I just did, so it's going to go in its own separate one. And boy, does it deserve to go in its own separate one. We're going to need the Holy Mist spray for this, I think, because this drama, well, you'll see. Got to cleanse the air first. It is that bad. Anyway, so let's get into it, shall we? Now, Trisha Paytas is in the drama once again. But this time, it's not all only things that Trisha has done. Morgan Adams, Ryland's sister, Morgan Adams, uploaded a vlog the other day, which was something about moving house, and she was packing up her old house. I did actually watch it when I got home from work today, and I was like, okay, yeah, cute. Really lovely video. You know, I like Morgan. Morgan is cool with me, you know, she is a vibe, nothing against Morgan, Morgan's great. But there was a moment in this video that was like a blink and you miss it moment.
Have a little bedazzled Starbucks cup that Trisha sent me. Love the cup.
A moment where she picked up a bling cup that Trisha had given her, a bling Starbucks cup with her name on it, and then she put it down and went, oh, well, I like the cup. After saying, oh, this is what Trisha had given me, she kind of slammed it down and went, I love the cup, implying that she doesn't love Trisha anymore. And why would she love Trisha, right? Because Trisha dragged Ryland, her brother, in 2020 in multiple TikToks when Trisha was online having that epic breakdown over Shane Dawson and their fallout with Shane Dawson. They then decided to make a shit ton of TikToks dragging Ryland as well as Shane, but they went really into one dragging Ryland, so I'm not surprised if Morgan really doesn't want anything to do with Trisha after that, because I know if that was somebody dragging my brother in the way that Trisha dragged Ryland, I would absolutely not be speaking to that person. I would kick 7 shades of shit out of that person if I ever saw them again. So, like, I really can't blame Morgan for throwing just a teeny bit of shade. Like, I would have done so much more. So much more. Like, I would have made that person's life hell. Because, honestly, that is what Trisha did to Shane and Ryland. All the damage that Trisha caused to Shane and Ryland, showing their true colours, showing, you know, Trisha showing their true colours, showing that they were really no friend at all to Shane Dawson and Ryland Adams. And Shane had clearly thought that Trish was a real friend, like a ride or die. You know, Shane had done so many collabs with Trisha over the years. Morgan as well had also done collabs with Trisha. Like, there were a couple on Morgan's channel where she'd kind of invited Trisha over and they were doing clothes or something, they were dressing up, something. But like, I remember watching those videos with Morgan and Trisha, and I remember watching, of course, a lot of Shane and Trish together. And to this day, what's really interesting to me is the fact that Shane Dawson has still not addressed his friendship or the friendship breakup with Trisha Paytas. I would actually really love to hear what happened, if anything, between them, if there was any kind of phone calls behind the scenes amidst that breakup. You know, I would really love to hear that, because we never got to see, you know, we saw Shane Dawson when all the kind of beauty drama popped off. We saw Shane Dawson go on his IG stories screaming about Tati Westbrook, but we never ever saw Shane talking about Trisha Paytas or Ryland talking about Trisha Paytas. There was, of course, that time when Ryland had just started his vlog, his podcast rather. He'd just started his podcast, and like the first guest I think that they ever had on that was Trisha Paytas, because she was such a good friend to Shane and Ryland. So this was probably like back in early 2020. And then, of course, all the fireworks happened between Shane Dawson, Trisha Paytas, when Trisha was on Frenemies dragging Shane and Ryland. But the worst thing for me was the TikToks with Trisha where she was dragging Ryland. I'm not going to pop them in here because honestly, I'm not going to go back and find all of those now because there were so many. But Trisha was really dragging Ryland. She was really, really harsh on Ryland. She was calling him a spoilt brat, saying that people only knew who he was because of Shane. There were so many awful, awful, awful things that Trish said during that time. Like horrific, horrendous. So the fact that Morgan picked up her Starbucks cup, which was a gift from Trisha, and then slammed it down, I was like, wow, this is the first time we've ever really seen Morgan Adams address any kind of drama to do with that. And I was like, wow, this is big. Even though it's something very small, like a small slamming down of a cup, it's actually really big because it tells us, you know, that Morgan doesn't want anything to do with Trisha. Rightly so, in my opinion, rightly so. And speaking of Trisha, now Trisha, they were recently exposed text messages between Moses and somebody that Moses was talking to regarding his bruise from Trisha. Now, these texts back and forth were quite a lot. You know, they were a lot. But it was Moses admitting that he'd been hit, punched by Trisha. And then somebody was responding to Moses in these messages. When I saw them, I was honestly quite shocked and really didn't, you know, I knew this whole thing had happened between Trisha and Moses. You know, they talked about it on the Frenemies podcast. Of course, Ethan had brought it up, Ethan Klein. And, you know, Trisha had talked back and forth with Ethan Klein about it on the Frenemies podcast. But it's really quite dark, and I didn't know if I really wanted to dive into this at all anymore on my channel here. But in these text messages, Moses is basically admitting that he was kind of afraid of Trisha. It's really scary, especially after this whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. I'm like, you know, wow, you know, it just makes you even more aware that yes, males are victims of domestic violence too. It's honestly shocking, right? Trisha Paytas and the lengths that they have gone to destroy people like Ryland and Shane. And even the things that they've done to their own husband. Like, at this point, I honestly don't know how anybody in their right mind can be a fan of Trisha Paytas, given everything that they've done. The way that they've completely shat on Shane, Ryland, and that whole family after everything that Shane did with Trisha on YouTube, and after everything that, you know, Ryland and Shane did for Trisha, including them in their lives. Like being a real ass friend to Trisha when everybody else was against Trisha. They were real ass friends to her. And then you've got this whole thing with Trish and Moses and the alleged assault. But it's not even alleged because there are pictures of the bruises. Moses, there are text messages of Moses talking to someone, telling them he's kind of afraid. Like, that's serious shit, dude. That is serious shit. That is a toxic relationship. And Trisha's excuse for it always seems to be like, oh, well, it was a one-off, it was a one-off. Pardon me, but isn't that what all abusers say? Oh, it was a one-off. I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to do it again. It was a one-off. I didn't mean to hit you. I didn't hit you. That's what all abusive people, abusive partners say. So the fact that Trisha is just kind of always brushing this incident off as, oh, it was a one-off thing and I'm embarrassed about it and I've never done it again since. The fact that Trisha always brushes it off like that is very concerning to me. You know, we can only hope that Trisha gets help or has gotten help for that, for the fact that they, you know, outburst like that and that they do that to people. I don't know, I guess time will tell. I mean, I know Trisha is like wanting to be happy and have a baby and all of that now, you know, I know, going through the pregnancy, all of that. But, like, the things that they've done are serious, you know, really serious, and they've done them all in the public eye as well. At this point, I'm like, damn, Trish needs to be studied, man. Like, for real. And on that note, I'm going to leave this video right here, but I'm going to say good for Morgan Adams for actually kind of standing up for herself here. And I'm going to love you and leave you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Please take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Bye.